Welcome to the Darker Side podcast, where we delve into the darker side of our existences. The morbid, the macabre, the spooky, and the absurd are all fair game as we discuss murder, UFOs, cryptids,
creepypasta,
the paranormal, and the dark depravity of our existences. I am David, and with me as always is Forrest, Rachel, and John. How the fuck are we, everyone?
What up? What up, guys?
Woo woo.
I'm Herman, so that's what you call me. Unless you're not in the whole,
I gotta change the script. Yeah, I gotta change.
Hermano. You're not into the whole brevity
I gotta
thing.
change the copy, John. I'm so Herman.
You want to make it more.
How many goddamn rewrites we gonna have?
Herman. Oh God.
Spell it right.
Can't keep Herrmann.
That's right.
My fucking son's middle name is Herman.
All the consonants.
Oh yeah.
We're greedy consonant people.
All right, guys. We're going to dive deeper today in Herman. What do you got for us, bro?
What do I have?
What do you have?
It is referred to lovingly as the Kecksburg incident, sometimes referred to as Pennsylvania's own Roswell.
Yeah, as they always say, it's Britain's Roswell, Pennsylvania's Roswell, it's fucking this one's Roswell, it's South America's Roswell.
Duluth's Roswell was fucked up.
Duluth's Roswell.
God,
I like
yeah.
their bare naked underpants.
Their
Yeah,
undergarments,
they're
yes, for sure. Duluth.
At Duluth, if you want to sponsor the show, we do like your underpants. They're very expensive.
We
so
do
please
swear.
Send us all
Unfortunately, we're gonna be hard up for some advertisers, but hopefully Adam and Eve will jump on.
I'm not gonna apologize. Everyone swears.
Yeah, I don't trust you if you don't swear. By the way.
Yeah, for real.
Hell yeah.
Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, 1965. All right, so on December 9th, 1965, a fireball was seen by literally thousands of witnesses.
Fireball?
A fireball in the sky. Mm-hmm. Fire in the sky, my friends.
That they saw it from Canada.
They
all
did
the way
see
down to Pennsylvania.
I was going to say in as many as 6 U.S. states and Canada, but thanks for blowing up my spot.
Oh my God!
Sorry, brah.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry, Herman.
Were you going to say that it was said to have dropped debris starting fires as it descended?
Yes, in Ohio specifically.
It did.
Fuck yeah!
I love you, Columbus, Ohio.
Mm.
Anyway, so kind of sounds like a meteor. Case closed, and on to the next story. Except, all right. So, as one witness reported, it appeared to maintain a certain altitude, then all of a sudden made a sharp dip downwards from roughly 500 or 600 feet to 300, which does not sound like typical behavior of a meteor
or a
anything
moving that fast.
Yeah,
and doing that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
we'll concerning.
We'll talk
about non-ballistic motion, John.
Yeah, it's. We'll talk about the meteor in a second. So I got to give a lot of props to weed. This episode was brought to you by Weed in Pens.
I'm sorry, I'm vaping.
So please vape all the marijuanas. Go to your local dispensary, caregiver, or illegal drug dealer if you live in one of the Midwestern states. Sorry, Midwesterners.
I had to do that. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Just get your head checked, is what John's saying.
Yeah.
Before you report this type of shit, get your head checked.
Let's get weird and talk about UFOs.
Right.
So I got to give a lot of credit, a lot of props to Stan Gordon, whose life was just absolutely
beautiful last name.
Gordon.
Awesome.
Yeah, Stan's a good first name too.
He a babe. Sounds like a babe.
He absolutely was. He looked like he was into ham radios and really big glasses. He was kind of like the Elton John of UFOs.
Seriously, wow.
Probably not as like silvery voiced or golden voiced at all, but
I love
Rocket
Elton
Man.
John.
Rocket Man. Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't our president call somebody else a Rocket Man?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's my favorite thing a president's ever said.
Seriously, you just said that?
I did.
So Gordon.
So Gordon, go to Gordon.
Oh my
I like
God,
that we've gone from alas, but I have one life to give for my country to hey, Rocket Man, I got a bigger button than you, and my button works.
I mean, Kim took the high road though. He chose not to blow us to pieces.
He couldn't have blown us to pieces.
We'll talk about that later. So
Whose cock is bigger?
That's
what they're
I
doing.
would actually like
Thank you,
to see
Rachel.
Did you
that.
see the comic in the New Yorker? And it was just two like micro penises on a table, and they're like, "Which one's bigger?" It was fantastic.
Dude, that whole blowout back last year gave me the biggest anxiety. I cried like going to work.
You missed the.
There's a funny
you missed
ironic
the
thing
red
that happened
scare
this
and all
last
that.
week, yeah, and honestly, the Red Scare.
Yeah. I mean, I would highly recommend anybody who was not around in the 80s, please go watch Red Dawn.
Or War Games.
Yeah, we were worried about both of these things coming true, Red Dawn and War Games. Good
Yeah.
reference. Also Cloak and Dagger, because Dabney Coleman's pretty amazing.
And, Flight of the Navigator, as we referenced last episode.
We did reference that last episode. So, back to Kecksburg. Stan Gordon was absolutely obsessed with Kecksburg. He was from Pennsylvania, and he was a kid when all this stuff went down. So he has a nice documentary that you can find for free on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, it's called Kecksburg UFO Crash. He's really good at the original names. So in Kecksburg UFO Crash, Stan Gordon interviews a man by the name of Randy Overly from Kecksburg, who was a kid. He was playing with his friends by a creek in December 1965, and by all accounts, the weather was unseasonably warm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Was it frightful?
Weather outside, frightful.
oh good God,
How's the fire?
no
Was
Christmas
it delightful?
It was delightful.
Yes, and Grandma got run over by a reindeer, and the merry gentleman rested.
I can't even right now.
Was Dominic the donkey there?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dominic the donkey was there,
Awesome.
and there is a little town called Bethlehem in Pennsylvania
And
that
Frosty
you can check out.
had a corncob
Yeah.
pipe. And
I also recommend going to Intercourse, Pennsylvania, and taking a picture of yourself in
We
front of the
drove through
sign.
there.
It's worth it.
Hell, Arizona.
My parents did that. That was my mama's bucket list. She wanted to go to Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
I drove through
And I
there.
wanted to smoke
Sure
a J
did.
with Bob, and I did it.
Yeah.
Live your dreams, people. Live your dreams.
I still haven't been to Myanus, Connecticut. And I need to go.
Myanus, Connecticut.
I need to go to Myanus.
Or Hell, New Jersey.
Oh,
Oh, good Lord. All right, go, John. Sorry.
okay. I don't know.
I do say good Lord a lot. I'm sorry, my listeners, but that's all I can think
Good
of in these
Lord.
situations.
you
Gaylord.
were born in South Carolina. That's we're gonna
I
allow
was
it.
born in Worcester, but I did live in North
I
Carolina.
love when you
for
say
quite
good
some time.
Lord, so it's all right.
Bless your heart, Dave. So, in his documentary, Kecksburg UFO Crash, Stan Gordon interviews a young gentleman by the name of Randy Overly. He wasn't so young at this point. Who was a kid playing with his friends by a, they pronounced it crick.
Yeah, it's a crick, dude.
Okay, it's
You grow up anywhere south of Mason-Dixon, it's a crick.
so
Oh,
C-R-E-E-K, it crick.
It's crick. But you grew up in a crick, dude. We played in a crick.
Pennsylvania is not south of the Mason-Dixon line, but it was the seat of America. So anyway, he alleges that he heard a hissing noise, and he looked up, I quote, saw an object coming at us. I watched it fly over the top of us. The object was acorn-shaped, had a raised area around the back. It was brownish grayish in color. There was fire coming out of the back of it. It had a rounded part on the very tip of it. It also seemed to be covered in some kind of vapor wrapped around it as it flew over.
You said tip. That sounds a bit like something else in history, John.
It does.
What could it be?
I don't know. He said it made a hissing noise. It, quote, was probably only 200 feet in the air when we saw it. It had a reddish, yellowish flame with a green color in that flame. It was moving faster than a small aircraft. It was not moving very fast at all. I know what I saw. It definitely wasn't a meteor. It certainly seemed to be a constructed thing, had smooth edges, smooth lines, and did not appear to be a meteor at all to me.
Uh-oh.
Boom, son.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if you're close enough to see detail like that, you know what you're looking at.
You can tell something's not a meteor if it's flying not at the fastest speed you've ever seen.
When we've also, I mean, we here on the Darker Side podcast have all literally had our own UFO or UFOs or whatever the fucking you want to call it,
Aerial phenomena.
Yep. Aerial
P.
phenomena.
We've seen it. We've seen non-ballistic motion. We've seen things flying through the sky that shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be moving that fast. They shouldn't be going from point A to point B with zero time lapsed. And we've seen things just pop out of the sky. I mean, I know I have. I've witnessed them with you. I've witnessed them with you and you. I've witnessed them with all three of you.
We all saw it
Separately through my life. It's crazy.
last summer.
I seen it.
And yeah, it's crazy, man. You know what you saw. And nobody can tell you otherwise.
They're fucking real. The Pentagon
Right.
proved
Yep.
that. We just
Right,
talked about that.
Well, we talked that last episode.
That's correct.
For sure.
Yeah. They're calling them vehicles now. We're no longer looking at UFOs. So Gordon interviewed another gentleman by the name of Bill Bullabush.
Bullabush.
It's your show.
That's good.
It's our show.
Yeah, and he noted that not today. So he noted that he saw a bluish fireball in the sky. He said it was coming from Novel and going to Lorville, which proves that Pennsylvania's not super original with their names.
No, Norval, Louisville.
He said it was flying like it wanted to go over the mountain, and couldn't get over. He said it made a U-turn and then fell in Kecksburg.
What?
Yeah, so
Wow.
I don't know how many meteors you've seen, but they're not famous for making U-turns.
No, just straight up burning out.
Yeah.
We've all seen them.
Straight up burning out.
It's a little bit bigger than a shooting star.
I feel like Dave just described my college career.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh,
Good lord.
So, according to Unsolved Mysteries, within minutes of this thing landing, the state police arrived.
Of course
they
it
survived.
They did survive, or they arrived. I don't know what word I said. It wasn't a word.
Arrived, survived.
They survived. I will survive.
They
I will
Gloria
survive.
Gaynored it.
Yeah, they Gloria Gaynored the thing out of the stuff.
Nice.
So there's a volunteer fireman by the name of Jim Mays who saw the crashed craft and described it as, quote, not a plane. He said that he came to the brow of a hill and down to the right in a holler.
Yeah, that's a quick second, by the way.
Yeah, down to the right in a holler.
Hey,
there were
Get
these,
your ass over here and holler. All
yeah.
right. And he's there
I
in
think
3
I think
seconds.
it's like a hollow or a dip in the earth. It's sort of the opposite of a berm.
Yeah.
So down the holler there were these blue lights, real bright blue like an electric welder. He noted that the flashes seemed timed. Immediately, state troopers began closing the roads, and 30 volunteer fire department gentlemen were dispatched.
Yeah, why not? For some bright blue lights in the woods, right?
Yeah, I see an arc welder going crazy in the woods. I'm going to send firemen.
Yeah,
I don't want to go.
What kind of crazy scientist is building some bullshit out in the woods?
What's he building in there?
Why is it so hot?
So James Romansky was one of the firemen that arrived at the crash site, and he noted that, quote, here was this humongous metal object, half buried in the ground, about 6, 7, 8 foot around, and it was every bit of 8, 10, 12 foot long. And to me, the object looked exactly like a fresh acorn that you pick off a tree. There was
Sounds like something else in history, John.
it sure does.
Wow.
There was no wings, no motors, there was no propellers, and there was no identification whatsoever to identify it as an aircraft that I would know of.
Wow.
There was a bumper on the bottom of it. On the bumper, there was what I call
A bumper sticker that says "This car climb Mount Washington."
no farms, no food.
26.2? Could be.
Jesus. It was 2 large aliens and 3 little ones and a couple of cats. Oh God. On the bumper, there was what looked to me like the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Whoa.
It was markings like stars and shapes and figures and circles and lines. And it was,
Sounds like the writings of a 5-year-old.
I don't know. So to bust down the fourth wall a little bit,
I love it though.
I absolutely stopped this and started this over and over again to get this audio absolutely correctly because I do not want the it's in a 2-hour documentary by Gordon. I do not want to disparage the words of James Romansky in any way. This man was there. He saw what he saw, and he has been for years dealing with ridicule of people, etc. For
PTSD, I'm sure.
For what he saw.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet.
So he did note that while they were standing around this object, 2 men came out of the woods.
Huh.
They took one look at the object and told the searchers to leave.
Ooh,
That
what were they
was it.
wearing?
Wow,
Yeah, probably black suits.
Yes.
that's crazy.
He didn't talk about their black suits, but we'll get there.
Oh jeez.
So he said that when they got back to the fire hall in town, that the town was wall to wall military.
Oh yeah, of course. Why not? We've all seen the TV shows, like, you know, the Dome.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I've been
And,
told to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
way you're looking
Stephen.
at me.
Wasn't it Stephen
Yeah, it's a
King?
Stephen King story, but like, I mean, and there's other things like going on, like just all these other stories where like, hey, don't go into this part of town because some crazy bullshit's happening.
Yup.
And they make like 3 seasons out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, America.
Yeah, it sells. If it sells tampons and Coca-Cola, they're going to put it on the television.
Leading women in sugar diabetes.
Don't forget Allegra.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Allegra and some sort of they're hot. They're flogging this drug for cirrhosis. And
Yeah.
They're pretty crazy about that. Like
yeah, skin hate.
Humira.
Yeah, Humira.
That's the one.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, this episode was brought to you by Humira, and so meanwhile, while this was going on, the local citizenry was contacting the police and got around to calling the local radio station WHJB.
Nice.
You said JB. How to say it backwards?
You are such a child.
BJ.
Oh my god, man, he said it.
You're only a year older than me, John.
I am. So John Murphy is the news director of WHJB. He began to document the event, feeling that something historical was probably happening in Kecksburg. Given that no one's ever heard of Kecksburg, it is pretty rural.
I
This
bet.
was the biggest thing that's ever happened. in that
Before I
town.
say rural.
What?
Rural.
Rural? Rural.
The judicial system. He noted that the Pittsburgh airport actually confirmed the object in the sky at around 4:47 p.m. that day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have actual confirmation from people that look at the sky.
That's awesome.
Anyway, according to the documentary Kecksburg UFO Crash, John Murphy drove to the site and was reportedly there for over an hour. The state police fire marshal Carl Metz went into the woods. He went with a Geiger counter, a flashlight, and allegedly another dude. They returned, and John interviewed them. And I quote, this quote is from John from that documentary. "Did you find anything down there?" They looked puzzled for a second and said, quote, "I'm not sure." And I said, "Well, let me ask you my question in a different way. After you make your report to the captain, do you think you or the captain perhaps might have something to tell me?" And he said, "You better get your information from the Army."
Yeah, of course, right?
Of course.
This was
I think they did the same thing in Britain. They did the same thing in Roswell. They did the same thing all over the world.
But they were quick to say it wasn't their responsibility.
Exactly, of course.
So this was the first time, according to John, this was the first time that anyone had made mention of the military.
Oh.
Wow.
But Murray had taken pictures. John Murray had taken pictures and interviews, which he later put into a documentary referred to as, quote, "Object in the Woods."
Wow.
This footage, by report of his wife, was confiscated when 2 official-looking men in black suits arrived at the house. 4 years later, John Murphy was struck and killed in a hit-and-run accident in California.
Oh,
Wow.
Really?
Seriously.
Wow.
Very serious.
Fucking A, man.
It has a heart attack, my friend. What followed over the next few hours was genuinely bizarre, and this is a direct quote. As the U.S. Army and Air Force and apparently some NASA scientists and technicians literally moved in and placed the tiny village and its environs under virtual martial law, whatever it was that had crashed in the forest, the Army and the Air Force marched up to deal with it. The military and state police cordoned off the state forest, stationed armed guards at the roads and ways, loading into the forest, and transported a whole lot of equipment to the crash site.
How'd that feel, Forrest?
Oh, a little bump on the knee.
Sorry.
It's intimate environs
Me
here.
and Herman play footsie under the table.
We do. The Air Force took over the premises of the local voluntary fire station and set up a command post there. The firemen, now forbidden to enter the station, stood by watching while persons in military uniform brought in more equipment into the station, which included a huge radio transmitter. A little later, 2 large transport trucks, one of them bearing the insignia of the Army, were seen driving into the forest. At about the same time, people living close to the nearby Latrobe airfield saw a jet landing there, although the airfield itself had been closed to traffic for quite some time. And that comes from Michael Hessman's book, UFO's Secret History, on page 167. And I actually found this on the article entitled Reich of the Black Sun from the Bibliotheca Pleiades.
Reich?
Wow.
Yeah.
Reich of the Black Sun?
Yes, I Reich you too, Dave.
That reminds me of something
You didn't
else in history.
You did not see that coming.
Again, that reminds me of something else in our history.
Yeah. So in December 1965, it reminds me of a thing. In December 1965, Clifford Stone, who was a retired Army sergeant, witnessed the delivery of something top secret to Lockbourne Air Force Base, 200 miles from Kecksburg. So this is about the same time, mind you. This whole incident happened December 9th. I don't have Clifford's date, but in Clifford's interview, he said he thought it was whatever had crashed in the woods.
On that date.
Correct.
Sick. What they would say in a news article, sick.
Seek, that means
Yeah.
they spelled something wrong.
Yeah.
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 So when I said crick, you could go seek.
God.
I ain't never done no editing. So
I ain't done no
editing.
words good me right. So Stone
I come up with stories. I don't know how to edit in them.
So Stone had noted that something covered by a tarp that looked like a, quote, chocolate drop, 10 to 12 feet at the base and 12 feet tall.
Just reminds me of something.
He has been trying to obtain info since this day and has had absolutely no luck getting information from the government.
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh, because hey, they're gonna hand out all that info
Oh, yeah.
when they can redact everything and.
Oh, absolutely. So that's the long and the short of it. That it crashed. Something crashed. Something was picked up. Something was tarped. Something was brought by the military to an Air Force base and magically whisked away to sunny Las Vegas.
What did the Information Act there? The
Freedom of Information
Freedom of
Act.
Information Act. Did this give us all of these details?
I believe the Freedom of Information Act has been redacted.
Yes.
Yep.
The good majority of it, you mean?
I wouldn't doubt it.
So the ifs, thus, buts, so's,
Yeah,
could,
I s-
them,
But
he.
specifically, that incident has been heavily
oh yeah, there's no information on it.
Seriously?
zero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on my. I
I believe it.
watch Unsealed Alien Files to go to sleep at night.
Fuck yeah.
It's kinda
Rachel is
freaking
probably
weird.
the most knowledgeable person on the outside details of
I
most
love
of these
alien
things.
everything.
But yes,
She falls asleep to this
I
shit.
do. I do. It relaxes me.
I love watching alien shit.
Yes, but yes, I do, because they showed the images of what information
So, okay.
they were able to obtain, and the entire thing is blacked out except for
Yep.
you know where the this of the
Oh, the town, the town,
Yep.
Kecksburg.
Kecksburg.
Yeah.
Incident.
yeah.
I think
I think
I
Kecksburg incident and he's and
Correct.
they might have
of-
left OBJ from the word object in there.
Right,
But
yeah.
no, there's not a lot of information.
That's crazy,
and
dude.
Clifford Stone was in the military at the time, and he is an avid collector of this information. He's been searching this stuff out. He actually has just an absolute love for this and a
Nice.
collection of documents. So I pose the question: what is it?
what is it, John? Herman. What is it, Herman?
We're gonna take a look at a couple of different things. So in 1993, James Oberg, he's a spaceflight engineer, noted that Russia's Venus probe fell to Earth.
It's bullshit.
His theory on the secrecy was that the probe would be a cornucopia of secrets, from the Russian heat-resistant materials, the heat shields, the electronics. Really, all of Russia's best tech would be in that.
I read some interesting stuff about that theory though, where like, yes, that probe did, that satellite and probe did fall to the Earth at that time period, but there's no way that it landed in NASA's official story from that time period, and updated in the future said that it never landed there.
So on that note, Clifford Stone said that if this was a Russian object landing on Earth, the State Department would have released that documentation under their moon dust files.
Exactly.
Yep.
Another theory was that this was not a space probe, but a Russian satellite by the name of Cosmos 96.
Right.
In 2003, Nicholas Johnson, chief scientist of orbital science for NASA, said, I can tell you categorically that there is no way that any debris from Cosmos 96 could have landed in Pennsylvania anywhere around 4:45 p.m. Orbital mechanics is very strict. And why can he say that with such certainty? Probably because it had crashed in Canada earlier that day.
Oh, man.
Shit doesn't crash twice. Well,
Is there a parallel to another object that we could possibly do in our next episode?
certainly. In 2005, NASA went back to the space probe theory. In 2015, Owen Eichler and John Ventre from the Mutual UFO Network have noted that the GE Mark II reentry vehicle, an American spy satellite, which had control capabilities and did in fact have writing on the side, may have actually crashed in Kecksburg. They feel as though they have solved the mystery.
MUFON, yeah, we love you, and you probably did, but let us have our theories.
Right. But let's get back to James Romansky for a second. When they showed James Romansky the picture of the GE Mark II vehicle, which is readily available on the internet, he said that the Kecksburg UFO, quote, looked like one piece of metal. Looked like it was forged using liquid metal poured into an acorn-shaped mold.
Huh.
And then he said of the GE vehicle, he said, this thing you could not stand up inside of. The acorn you could.
Interesting.
So neither NASA nor the Air Force has commented.
Wow.
Wow.
The last theory, David, you've been waiting so impatiently.
But we have to do a whole episode after this and parallel it. So we should tease it, John, but don't give the name. Just tease it.
I'm giving the name. The last theory, Nazis.
Nazi.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's bridge that gap.
It is alleged that the Nazis created a bell-shaped object referred to as Die Glocke,
The Glocke?
which means the bell.
Yes, the Nazi bell,
The Nazi
everybody.
bell.
If you've not heard of it, you really aren't watching enough material on our alien stuff, people.
Oh, my God.
Conspiracy theory alien stuff.
Die Glocke could allegedly open wormholes and travel through space and time,
Tease it, John.
and it derived its power from a purple glowing radioactive liquid metal substance known as Cerium-525.
Uh-oh.
But that's a story for another time.
Yes, it is.
Next episode, bitches.
Next episode.
And when I read Cerium-525, I gotta tell you, does anybody remember the German duck from Disney? Like, I just Cerium-525. I just want like the little duck voice in my head.
The scientist duck.
The scientist duck, yeah.
Not the Scrooge or the Eddie.
Yeah,
the
the Oppenheimer duck that they had in Disney, yeah.
So good. Do it again.
Cerium-525.
I love
I can
it.
picture him. He's got like really big eyebrows and yes,
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, my God.
That's my favorite Disney character.
Well, that was the Kecksburg, and next episode we're gonna bridge a parallel to another object that literally looked just like this object. Bridge the gap between two different types of creepy. Honestly,
Woo.
UFOs and Nazi super machines.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Different levels. It's nuts.
It's so weird and good.
This I have to tell you, this thing just opens doors into just the
And that's why I wanted you to do it too, John. You're like,
Please.
you're gonna go down so many paths with this.
Oh, yeah.
But the Kecksburg incident is literally one of those iconic American incidents that we just cannot continue to refute.
Yeah.
We are not alone. We are being
We're not.
visited. We are not.
Yep.
or we're being visited by crazy Nazis from the past. It's fine. But, like, let's at least look and sort some of this
Exactly.
stuff out.
Yeah.
So the Nazi Bell next episode, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you diving deeper into the Kecksburg incident with us.
Thank you.
I got to say, we have a whole shitload of links, so you guys can look at all this stuff. And honestly, if you have 2 hours and are really interested in this, the first-hand witnesses from Gordon's 2-hour documentary are just amazing. There are so many people that have so many things to say, and it's, you can refute one person, you can refute 2, but he just keeps like setting them up. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. It's just amazing.
Awesome, guys. Well, again, thank you, Herman.
Thanks, Herman.
Thanks, Herman.
Fucking Herman.
Fuck yeah, with the awesome diving deeper.
I fucking love you, bro.
We all
Love you too, man.
Yep.
All right, guys.
You guys ready?
It is now time for us to get lost in the forest.
Getting lost in the forest.
So this is where walking in the woods turns into getting lost in the forest.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey! So, I have an amazing story for you guys
Amazing,
today.
or is it not so amazing?
Well, I think it's amazing because it makes a lot of people look stupid.
Okay.
But it's a horrible story, and I feel bad for this transgender lady.
Yes.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
nice lady. So, you know how we've been seeing a lot of social media videos by people saying, oh, I'm being discriminated against, I'm recording this. Well, this is kind of the opposite of that. This is the person who is technically discriminating.
So I'm discriminating. I'm recording this.
Yes.
Okay.
The person who is pretty much recording this, who is, excuse me.
Not just recording it, but went live.
Yep, Facebook Live.
Live.
And this is a congressional California candidate.
Yeah,
So much alliteration. That was fantastic.
You said congressional, so I was like, oh yeah, Congress.
For Congress. I just can't believe that someone who's running for a position like this in the Republican Party.
You shouldn't be surprised at
I'm
all.
not surprised by it at all.
What do they serve at a Republican Party? Like
Hard cheese and really white napkins.
would you like some more orphan tears?
White, white chicken.
Yeah. Would you like the disappearing of 1,500 kids from internment camps in the United States of America, privately owned by people who you owe stocks of? Yes.
Yep.
Dick Cheney just opens up his cooler of hearts and just starts passing them out.
Fucking A, man. I mean, we are the amount we're
good.
spending on privatizing is
Good
insane.
Lord.
It's gone up over the last year or
Good
two.
Lord. I asked them with the deepest of all of my hearts, where is your Christ? It's not in anything that they do. All right, Forrest. keep
Donde
going.
está Jesus Cristo?
Yeah.
I got this from Metro
Oh,
Weekly.
God, John, that's deep.
This is from a Facebook Live video that was on May 18th. The story's by John Riley. Thank you, John Riley, for being awesome. A California congressional candidate posted a Facebook Live video of her harassing a transgender woman using the ladies' room at a Denny's restaurant in Los Angeles.
It's fucking Denny's, dude. Just let her piss. Like,
Just
what
let
the
her
hell?
eat her moon over my hammy and then
Right.
go have a whiz.
Is it illegal to record somebody in the bathroom?
I'm pretty confident.
Is there an expectation of privacy?
I believe this woman could.
100%, in my opinion.
Then it's illegal.
If it's not a California law, it's definitely a federal law.
Well, she certainly has grounds to press charges.
I read
so
many
I hope she
comments
does.
that said that this was illegal, and that's why I wanted to ask you guys.
It's the expectation of privacy with audio. With video, it's a little bit different, but with audio,
all
it's
audio
the,
and
it's
video
the,
were
the
included
the
in
expectation.
this video that will be included
Yep.
in our episode.
Yep, it will be included. And her name is Jasmina Saavedra.
Or Yasmina.
Yasmina Saavedra. That's how I say her name.
Yasmina Saavedra. It's
Saavedra.
such a
It's Saavedra.
it's such a velvety, sexy name. That's a good one. I like that.
But is she's the GOP candidate?
She's the
Yes.
GOP candidate, a self-identified
What's that,
businesswoman.
a ruining of a good name.
She's the
whose
one.
accent is extremely thick, by the way.
She's not American for sure.
She's
not.
American. She just has a thick accent.
Yes, she's
If
not.
she's running for a candidacy, she's American.
Yes, but she's running in a party
American now.
Now, yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Now she's
She
an American.
is kind of a candidate that the party that she's running for actually advocates against, and I just think it's hilarious and awful at the same time and dark.
It's the kind of party that only has Bud Light Lime.
Pretty much. Locale, she is one of 2 Republican candidates running in the 44th Congressional District, filmed herself, so it's her filming this in the going into the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's very apparent when you watch the video.
Yep. Confronting the woman, and with the help of a manager, which I feel so bad for this manager, because she makes it sound like the manager's on her side, and I don't think the manager's on her side at all.
Well, I mean, if this
He doesn't
lady's
make a big stink out of it. He's
screaming-
just like in there the person's in there talking to him. They're like, hey, this fucking crazy bitch is outside. Hey, if you just, we'll get you outside. We'll make it. And then you get out, and then as soon as the door opens, she's like, what I fucking tell you, what I'm gonna do?
It was like
managers are gonna fucking kick you out. Blah blah.
it was like a fucking drama to being unfolded, because this congressional woman was like, this congressional candidate, was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for her to come out of the bathroom," and it's like, okay, great, and even the manager was telling her at some point in the audio, you can kind of hear it. He tells her he shouldn't be she shouldn't be filming in the bathroom,
right.
and she should stop interrogating him and moving this horrible fight forward. And
if this is a transgendered person who's in the female bathroom, it was a her.
It's a her.
Forrest.
Yep.
It was a her.
Sorry, did I not say that?
Yeah, you said him.
I said him.
Were you referring to?
I'm so sorry.
Hold on, were you referring to the?
He was referring to the
manager.
manager.
Oh, I was referring to
Okay.
the manager.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
manager
sorry. I
doesn't
got
have it.
confused
Not
and
every-
upset.
Oh, hold on.
For
Let me
her.
Facebook this live.
Is your rights being incriminated on now?
No,
Yes,
but
yes.
hers were.
It's a 40-year-old white man whose rights are being...
Discrimination.
So she told local ABC affiliate KABC that the incident started after a waitress told her there was a man who said he was a woman using the woman's restroom. So she decided to
It was a
confront...
woman telling a woman that a woman was going to be using a woman's bathroom.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
But somebody's prejudice got way in the way.
Yep. And supposedly
it.
there happened to be at least, I think, 1 or 2 other people who were trying to use the bathroom who probably had the same mindset as her.
Hey, I've got a person in a situation, relationship-wise, that takes an hour of everybody's time in a public bathroom to take a shit. Because they have issues that makes them take an hour to go first. Doesn't fucking matter. You have some respect for people who are in the bathroom. Go
Yep.
fuck yourself.
It's just I really can't go on, because you just have to watch the video and read the article because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure,
that
you'll
poor
give a
woman's
little-
like, I'm just trying to take a piss. That's all I'm
And
doing.
you give some a little audio for the people,
They
right?
got bottomless
yeah.
coffee. Come on, I'm not made of stone.
Yeah.
It's entertaining to watch. You're gonna get an amazing laugh out of it. Here's the audio right now from the embarrassing video.
I want everyone to see this. Okay, this is happening right now in Denny's in Wilshire, Los Angeles. I'm trying to use the ladies' room right now. Ladies' room. And there is a man here saying that he's a lady. So a few different customers trying to use the restroom, but the guy insists he's a lady.
You guys are harassing me. I'm just using the restroom and it's invading.
Why you use the ladies'
Invading
room?
my privacy, one.
Well, no, you invading my privacy because I'm a woman
I'm in the
and I
toilet.
deserve to use the woman, the
I'm in
ladies'
the
room.
toilet. I'm in the toilet. How am I invading your privacy? Hello? Hello? Do your homework before you speak to me.
Wait, you violated my right. You're sick, a stupid sick. Oh, I'm gonna wait for him to get out of the room. This is so stupid in California, how they let.
Hey, for those who want to know, that girl right there, she's a liar though. It was an Asian girl who came in. She said it was invading her privacy. She was calling me yesterday. That same girl is
Stupid. So this is what happened in California. They allowed a man who thinks he's a lady getting in the ladies' room. I put in danger the family. So I just want to share with you what is real happening here in California. This is insane. How can I be with a man inside of the ladies' room just because he thinks he's a lady? This is unbelievable. Only in California happens. It's true. It's real. It's not just things on social media.
Keep in mind, this is a politician candidate running for Congress in California. Not only that, but she can't even speak proper English sentences. And she's Republican, or running for the Republican Party. I'm sorry, I'm going off script just a little bit. The fact that she talked the way she talked on her Facebook Live video, I mean, I'm sure there's Republicans out there that are going to say, I'm not voting for this bitch.
Yeah, but you have a president sitting in the office.
Ivanka.
Who literally, yeah, Ivanka.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. A president sitting in the office who writes at like a 4th or 5th grade level. At most. Like we had amazing writers write with shorter sentences and better prose than he did.
Have you guys seen the SNL video where he's playing with the little children? I just love that video. Have you guys seen it?
No.
And they have to drag him out of the room because he doesn't want to leave because he's playing with the children with his ball. I don't want to go. I don't want to be an adult. I grew up, I grew up being concerned in the bathrooms in grade school, so this really hits home for me. This is seriously a fascinating example of how politicians should and shouldn't use social media for their gain.
Absolutely.
I'm also so sick and tired of people shitting on California from like a Republican perspective.
Well, you have to think about California. There's a tiny little bit. It's called Los Angeles. It's literally like a circle like this, right? And that's where the liberal population lives, right? And then the good majority of California is literally a conservative state.
You're right, because Orange County has Nazi rallies.
One little circle, population-wise, compared to that entire conservative rest of California, is proportionately like equal.
Mm-hmm. And you have this GOP candidate who is in that freaking melting pot of there's so many different kinds of people in LA.
Right.
I can't even understand it. And she is shitting on this, just like that racist guy in Manhattan or whatever, the racist lawyer or whatever.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's
that
like,
asshole.
Who represented Spanish-speaking people? Yeah.
Oh, God.
He could speak it fluently himself. Mm-hmm. That's why he knew what they were speaking.
Clearly has anger management issues. So, I was born in Northern California. I lived there for a short time for an internship from after my college experience. I lived there in Ocean County in Santa Ana. And I have to tell you, it is not a liberal county. And I learned that the hard way by just walking places without a car or anything. Being in California in 2015, I saw tons of Nazi rallies, most seeming like they did not even get a permit to be there. And did it get any news coverage? Nope.
It's weird, like you would think about like Cali, it's progressive. I mean, that's what you think about it.
They're slowly becoming their own country.
But if you think about it, like the OC area, the rich whiteness of OC has really, really brought about like a real alt-right.
Yep.
And then they have the OC gangs, the alt-right gangs from OC.
I feel like it started in California. I seriously do.
Nah, it's
the
spread.
Alt-right. Well, yeah, it's spreading.
But I mean, there is a big population there too of rich white Americans who are angry. That will never do the jobs that they claim that people are stealing, et cetera, et cetera. That are angry about stupid white bullshit reasons.
They feel like they lost their rights now and all that bullshit because of Obama. Whatever. And I've never been so disgusted in my life, especially figuring out all these Nazi rallies where the media didn't even pick up until North Carolina, Charlottesville. And that was a year and a half after these rallies were happening in California. Especially for the fact California statistically is one of the best states in the country and the world economically, and also for civil rights and protections.
Yeah, and socially, yeah.
I strongly
great avocados too.
Oh yeah, and they're
sixth
cheap.
largest nation in the whole world,
and they're fucking cheap.
Yeah,
like you can get like 2 weeks worth of avocados for lunch, breakfast, dinner, however the fuck you eat them for like $5-6. It's insane.
Just avocado toast for days.
Because that's what rich white Americans eat, right, John?
There's nothing wrong with avocado toast.
Or they
You
say,
shut your whore mouth.
I don't eat it that much, but there's a stigma that millennials do it a lot, I guess. I don't know.
Apparently, and that's what we're wasting our money on.
You killed breakfast with your brunch.
I love brunch.
I like
but-
to fast. I like to have a brunch. You know what I'm saying?
I like to break my fast at 5 a.m. with black coffee and orphan tears.
Fuck yeah.
It's stock market rates that make me come.
Fucking A, man. That's so true.
Oh,
I strongly feel this Congress candidate should not even get one vote from anyone. And I also believe that the Republican Party...
Her mom's going to vote for her.
yeah,
Probably.
she'll get 3 to 1,000 votes.
and
That's
I,
my forecast.
And I strongly... You said you were the 4,000?
No, 3 to 1,000.
3 to...
Yeah, a
With
total
the-
of 3 to 1,000 votes. Yeah.
With the amount of people that could probably vote for
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
I also believe the Republican Party seriously needs to condemn this politician themselves, since they all seem to turn their head and say nothing in almost all cases with certain things that happen in this country. Not just the goddamn progressives, middleists, and non-voters as well.
Yeah.
I think it's really just the Republican Party needs to step up and realize how dirty the party's getting.
Get out there and vote, people.
Please, vote.org or something like that. Vote.org. It'll even tell you where to vote, all that
Or
good shit.
vote.dog. Whatever.
That works too. Vote.dog.
Yeah, somebody you'll figure it out.
Just Google it.
Just
I
go
want
to
to
a vote site.
Yep.
And vote for the candidate, please. Or not that candidate.
I just mean, come on, guys. Like, seriously, everybody. It's 2018, not 1960. The people of America, at least the majority, are sick and tired of seeing all this hate, especially on Facebook Live.
How dare you disparage Facebook Live?
Yeah, that bastion of good, humanity. Yeah,
I don't think it's making Mark Zuckerberg happy.
no. Especially those people who killed those people on Facebook Live.
Yeah,
And then those people who committed suicide on Facebook Live.
There was a car accident.
Oh,
on
we could
Facebook
go into a whole
Live.
Facebook Live
Oh,
episode.
we could make that into a fucking segment, man.
Ugh.
Or
I
you
saw-
can watch people open pearls for hours.
Yeah, hours. Hours.
Open for,
And spend money on pearls.
Come
Yes,
on, guys.
for
We got
hours.
for
just,
hours.
Are they opening oysters?
Oysters.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen
Oysters,
this
opening
crazy-
oysters
I've
for
seen this-
pearls.
I mean, I can open
Crazy
oysters
shit.
for hours and just eat them. They're so good.
Come on, guys.
So
we got
good.
1 hour. Please send me the money if you
People
want
will
to buy
pay you.
this.
People will pay you.
I can't imagine. And how many? I would love to know how many of you think this politician had a right to feel discriminated against, and make a video and expose someone just trying to go to the bathroom. I mean, seriously. I would seriously love to know, because on some of the social medias, including like Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram, I feel like there's a lot of people who would vote for this Republican Congress psycho
I mean,
and rant.
there's a few. And then most people saw her for what she really was. And if they actually believed in that type of
I
bullshit-
responded to the Facebook comments because I'm sorry. Some of it's so bad.
So yeah, I mean, I'm with you there, Forrest. I don't see anybody voting for her, but there is going to be.
There's going to be.
It's going to be.
People.
There are some people who believe in her ridiculousness.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that believe in that type of ridiculousness.
I don't know.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Yeah.
I've got my opinions, and I'll save that for anything. If you want to know, just send me an email.
Dude,
Yeah, Condoleezza Rice 2020.
we
Right, right.
Let's do
seriously
this.
All right, guys. Well, that was Getting Lost in the Forest.
getting lost in the
Forest,
forest.
thank you so much. That was a
Fuck yeah.
very interesting concept.
Thank you.
And at this time, we're going to go into the Darker Side Metal Showcase.
Hell yeah.
This week, we are showcasing a song by an amazing band called Premium Death Trap.
PDT.
Hell yeah. PDT.
Premium Death Trap. Premium, a high value death trap. Something dangerous that could cause death.
Fuck yeah.
That's cool, but in reality, a mutation of metal, punk, and hardcore conceived 1,000 miles from anywhere and everywhere deep in the swampy, mosquito-infested woods of Douglas, Massachusetts.
Douglas, Massachusetts.
Fueled by beer and unholy love of Sabbath, Metallica, Elvis, and the Misfits, it wields riffs the size and depth of Whalum Lake while roaming the Blackstone Valley corridor, bringing old school to a new audience. We hope you all like us. That was the bio brought to us by Premium Death Trap. This song is This Looks Like a Good Place for a Murder.
Fuck yeah.
As a quick sidebar before we go into the song, this song was used in the DVD menu and end credits of the movie Rave Party Massacre. Everybody check that out on Facebook.
Fuck yeah.
Rave Party Massacre.
Check out Rave Party Massacre.
This is Premium Death Trap with This Looks Like a Good Place for a Murder. All right, guys, well, that was This Looks Like a Good Place for a Murder by Premium Death Trap out of Douglas, Massachusetts. Guys, I don't know about you, but I know the lead singer personally. Herman does too as well. We've worked for them for a little while. I've always enjoyed his vocals.
Whatever was fucking murder.
Nice.
It really was what they described, like
It's metal, it's
the
punk,
love child
it's Elvis,
of Sabbath,
it's
Metallica, Elvis.
Kick ass.
It's just...
I've loved his silvery, like
fucking swamp
throat,
Yankee
like,
sludge at its finest.
It's
like
just
crooner
amazing.
vocals. It reminds me of just like literally Glenn and Elvis having a love child.
Oh, man.
I just want to sing along with them. And like the chorus, just like So perfect.
It's just everything is so amazing in that song. Everything.
It's so perfectly timed, and it's a great punk, a Misfits song.
I think it breaks barriers.
If I were to murder somebody, I would like to listen to
It would
that
be. It
while
would not
doing
be a
it.
bad choice, especially if you were trying to find the locale.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
I feel like this sand pit is the one.
Right.
Well, you said something about your adrenaline peaking, and you thought like, oh, this is the perfect like tempo.
Well, yeah, it's like when your adrenaline peaks and your heart starts racing, it follows along with
You're
like you said, the tempo of that song,
Yeah.
which
It
I
is.
found entertaining. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I liked
would-
the song a lot.
I would love to use this as like an end credits for my mini videos.
They may
For one of them.
You can always talk to them personally.
Reach out to the
Oh,
band.
yeah.
Set you up. All right, guys. Again, thank you.
Premium fucking Death Trap. Thank you,
you,
guys.
PDT.
Hell yeah.
For seriously, submitting that song. We really enjoyed this and really, really liked the song. Guys, check them out on Facebook. You can check them out on Reverb Nation. Just go to their Facebook. But on their Facebook, they are PDT. So look them up, PDT, all capital, and it'll be a music band. Click on them, and then from there you can check out the Reverb.
Oh, and they're
Nation.
super giving. You can check out a bunch of their tunes. It's fucking
Yeah.
fantastic.
They're on YouTube. It's
And
awesome.
they're I'm pretty sure if you want to reach out to them, they'll talk to you because
They talk to us, yeah.
Any other metal bands out there who also want to submit a song and a short bio, please
Please.
feel free to do so.
The Darker Side
Yeah,
podcast.
I mean, just
Yeah.
a MP3 or a WAV file to the Darker Side podcast at gmail.com.
With a C.
Yeah, so it's DARKER. No.
DABC.
Easy as
1, 2, 3.
So that is
Re mi.
the Darker Side. So that is the DAR.
KERCIDE at Gmail.
Right.
You did it!
Yay!
All right,
Well,
guys.
it's like an episode of fucking Blues Clues up in here.
It's Bruise Clues.
Bruise Clues. I like
Oh,
that.
I like what you did there. I like what you did there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for the Darker Side, episode 14.
Fuck yeah, episode
Whoop, whoop.
14.
Come on back to the Darker Side.
Darker Side.